Hey YouTube, it's dark. There's a reason for that. That's because of this being my Yamaha RGX A2, which I've successfully done a bit of modding to. So this could be a different order of video. I'm going to talk about the mod first. So this guitar, the reason the lights are off, see if it's got a rotary pickup selector. So it's a volume and a rotary pickup selector. So green is neck pickup, green and blue is both pickups, and blue is bridge pickup. Also normal, right? This one, it's got an orange LED in it as well. So what this does is I put a push-pull pot in the volume control, and so when you pull it up, the orange light goes out, and it's single coil. And then when you push it in, you've got humbucker. So you get humbucker in the neck, both humbuckers, humbucker in the bridge, and then this one here. Yep, so I can now turn the light on, you can see me. Hello! But this is a mod I think that all... You can't see the lights in daylight. Oh, you can sort of see they're on. Yeah, a bit. I feel that Yamaha missed a trick with this guitar. This has got sort of P90 shaped humbuckers. And for me, the guitar didn't sound like what I thought it would sound like. So here we got that's the volume control. What is annoying, which I will get used to, if I want to operate this light, it's this knob which turns the coil split and the knob off, and if I want to change this one, it's this knob you turn. So you look at that to see where the pickup selector is. Oh, it's at blue, I want to put it in the neck. It's not that knob, which is the one you obviously go for, it's this one. So neck pickup, humbucker. Just playing through my wee Laney VC15, no pedals. Oh, I've got the reverb on. If you split it, bridge single coil. Humbucker. So the reason I think they've missed out, they did a similar thing. I've got another Yamaha called an SC400, which is 3 single coils, but the SC600 has a coil split switch and it's through neck. It's really the only difference. But those pickups in the 400 were coil splittable as well. It just didn't have the switch, so I put that in, and it totally opened the guitar up, made it much better, because the better sound was when you've got the coil tap switch on, which the guitar never came with. This one I think sounds better as a single coil than it does as a humbucker guitar. It seems to sound fantastic. It sounds more like what I thought it would, what I think it looks like it should sound with a single coil. Turn off the reverb, put on some drive. So I've got bridge, wee bit distortion, single coil. I do think the humbucker sound's still got its place, but I do think single coil. And I said before, when I first got these pickups, I reckon sound a little bit more like P90s than they do, like normal humbuckers do. You know what I mean? I don't think they don't sound more like P90s than they sound like humbuckers, but does that make sense? But when these are split, I think they do sound like P90s. Like I would, you know, on a blind test, to me that sounds more like a P90 than it does like a single coil. Must be something to do with the shape of the magnet, so the shape of the coil or something, or just maybe the way the guitar was designed. To me that sounds like a P90. And that sounds like a humbucker that's got a wee bit of P90 in it somewhere. Single. Both on was the one I was really looking So my original plan for this was I was going to put, as soon as I realised that the light bulb in it, I was like, oh, I have to make the light bulbs. Also, you're sitting there with a battery. I actually found a battery compartment in my parts box, which actually fitted. Total win. So because it's a 3-way rotary, I was thinking I could put a 4-way rotary in it. And the other sound I was going to add, so you had your humbucker in the neck, both pickups, humbucker in the bridge, and then I was going to have both pickups on in single coil mode, which is basically what it's at just now. This is the sound I was aiming for, which is different from but it was that looked a little bit confusing. And this way round, I've also managed to get 3 extra sounds, so that would have given me 4 sounds. Whereas this way, I've now got split versions of both the pickups on or the neck, or the bridge and the neck. Yes, so not that difficult a mod to do. I haven't touched anything that was already in there. Incidentally, the volume pot that was in this, I didn't think worked particularly well. It's actually an alpha pot, which is normally what you'd use for a tone control, and it did look like the original pot, so I wonder what their thinking was in doing that. It now works much better, even in humbucker mode. The volume control. Oh no, have I just lost that pick forever? No, I found it. Yeah. The volume control works much better, so if you're putting a new pot in, put in a B500. It works really well. It's also, this guitar doesn't have a tone control, so it's the volume control. You can really just turn it down a wee tad. As it reads now. Maybe notice it more on clean. It's quite trebly. You turn it down, you can. That's quite a big difference in tone. Makes it a bit more usable. And the wee LEDs that are in this they're just on a wee back plate, and I suppose you'd call it a PCB. It's basically got 2 surface mount LEDs, a blue and a green one, a resistor for each one, and then 2 wires going into it. So basically the wire from the battery goes into the resistor, into the LED, and then out. That's the trick with LEDs. You need to put a resistor in the circuit. You can't just have LEDs stuck on your battery. It won't work. There's got to be a resistor in there. So that's what I've learned. So what I've done is these pickups already had the extra coil split wires. They were already there. That's where as soon as I saw them, it was like, yeah, right, well, they have to get used to do something. So I've just put a push-pull pot in, replaced it with a B500, which is worth doing anyway. I would have said, see, even if you don't want to put the extra mod in. I mean, the light bulb's a silly option. I just did that because I could. Also, I wanted the fact that I figured I would maybe cause a bit of a stir on the Yamaha forums by having one with 2 light bulbs in it, because normally it's only this knob that lights up. And in fact, it's orange as well. It's pretty cool. Incidentally, when you buy these things, I bought a packet from www.q26.co.uk, who do LEDs and stuff. I just bought it off eBay. They were really cheap. It was 10 for £2 postage, and asked for a mixed bag of 10, so red, blue, green, yellow, and white. And then I got the bag, looked at it, and they're all clear. So I was like, luckily I didn't go on and complain and say, hey, I ordered multicoloured ones, because I was sitting looking at them and I was like, I'll just put a light bulb in. I want to do it today. Well, this was yesterday, and then I started putting the battery on it, and they're different colours. So basically, modern day LEDs all look white. So even if it is a red one, there's no way of telling by looking at it, even if you look really close, what colour it's actually going to be. So I put a red one on, broke it somehow, decided I didn't want to burn the other red one out, so I used that, put the what's meant to be a yellow one, but it's actually, I would have said, is orange in, and it worked fine. I did have to cut a bit of the rotary switch out to poke the light bulb through. So basically, all it does, all the split coil, you've got your two sets of split wires coming off your pickup. On this pickup, on this pickup, it goes to, I'm taking the split wires and putting them to earth, right? Which is cancelling out this coil, giving you this one, which is the way around you want it. So it's cancelling out the two things to the earth. So what I've done, if you imagine one side of the 3-way switch has got, you get 6 terminals on your 3-way switch. It's basically like having 2 switches next to each other. So this, the one for the neck pickup, minus as an earth goes to the middle, right? And then the top one, depending on which way around you're looking at it upside down. So when it's down, it's the top one, because I'm looking at it upside down, right? The top one goes to the orange light bulb, and then when you push the switch down, it sends the tap wires from the neck pickup to the earth instead. That's why the light's permanently on, and how I managed to do it with one switch rather than having an extra switch to turn the light bulb on, or using a 9-pole switch, which would be the other way of doing it. So that's why when it's off, it's orange, or when the coil split is off. But I think that worked better anyway, because I figured, what does orange mean? I'd rather have a light that told you that it was in humbucker mode rather than a light that tells you it was in single coil mode, because obviously that looks more heavy rock than that, which is thin and smooth. Yeah, and the other pickup, this one, it didn't work exactly the same way. So instead of listening to this coil, if you just earth the middle, the coil splits, it's this one here. But I wanted to hear this one. Also, I think it might be, I've not actually checked this, I probably should have. I'm wondering if it's put it into single coil. Yeah, so it is hum cancelling in the middle position, which is good. That was a bit of a chance I was willing to take. So this coil and this coil are hum cancelling, and when you get the both in one. But I just love so much more jangly and what I expected this guitar to sound like with the coil split engaged. It was also my first foray into actually getting LEDs to work. So I'm just going to have a bit of a jam now. I've already talked for 12 minutes about this. Anyone who's only having a passing interest now knows how to wire up the extra switch. Very, very simple design. So, as I said, I can go over it again. You take the coil split for this neck pickup, and on the 3 terminals you put the earth to the middle terminal. The top terminal, or the off position, goes to the orange light bulb. So the orange light bulb's on when the coil split is off, and then when you put it to coil split, it sends the tap signals to earth and it disconnects the orange light. Basically, that's how it does it. And the orange light circuit is literally, it goes from the battery, so it goes earth through a 1k resistor into the light bulb and into the battery. That's the circuit, so it's completely separate. Also, the good thing about this guitar as well is that, see, if the battery does run out or something does go wrong with the lights, everything still works. You just can't see which pickup you're on, which doesn't really matter anyway. I was thinking that this was the most, someone described the guy who I swapped it with, it's the most over-spec'd battery ever, because you've got a 9-volt battery that just runs 2 LEDs. But I actually found now it's a wee bit better, because now I've got 3 LEDs, so at least it's, I'm using a bit more capacity. But the bass version of this is even more useless. I'd quite fancy the bass version, but it's got 2 volume controls and a tone, and the neck volume control has got a green light bulb behind it, and the bridge has a blue light bulb behind it. So that's basically all it does. At least this one, when you're using it normally, at least you can change the colour of the light bulbs. So you can argue that it's doing something, whereas on the bass, all it does is just constantly light up. It just means you've got a green pot and a red and a blue pot. So this is a little bit more interesting. That's enough talking. We're going to look for a jam. Go for both single coils for this. difference volume control. Bridge. Humbucker neck. Quite a different sound. Bridge. This comes right down to I always much prefer single coils for the cleaning sounds. Single, much better. Go for stacking box distortion. One more thing to try, go for the fuzz pedal. Because single coils with bridges and fuzzes always sound fantastic. I don't think this will be any different. So, a mod I really like, I'm also after one of the bass ones now, and I will have to make the red light bulb add, because it's got three knobs, a blue one, a red one, a blue one, a green one, and one that doesn't have a light in it, so I will be trying to get my hands on a bass one. They do look really cool. I'm not really sure why these guitars never took off, and maybe just a little bit too out there. I am really liking it though. I mean, I always thought, I've said this in many videos, whenever you see me with an Ibanez RG, Ibanez RG is an amazing tool for a guitarist. It's just got no personality whatsoever. It's just like, it's like a tool. It's just not, and Even actually, I've still got one for sale. Actually, a Yamaha ERG121, something like that. It's a very plain black super strat, and I really can't fault it. It's brilliant in every way apart from what it looks like. It just, again, it's just lacks character. Whereas this is that, but it does have some sort of character. It's got quite a mad sort of, see the shape of the body. Partly to do with the fact it's got it's like a hardwood outside and a softwood inside, but it's really thin. It's really light. One other thing I should mention is because it's so thin, there's not really enough room for the push-pull pot. So what you have to do is instead of putting any wires on the back of the push-pull pot, you have to put them on the side or find it somewhere else to earth it. This one I've got it so it almost sits flush, but not quite. I put wee washers behind it. We're really only talking about 1mm or 2mm. You need to find somewhere to get the push-pull pot to fit. So it's not the ultimate super ideal dead easy mod, but definitely worth doing, I think, especially for the single coil sounds. I mean, this is what I wanted the guitar to sound like to start with. Sounds like a P90 me. Got that ooh thing. As I was saying, just having a little bit of personality to it. I don't know how he does it. I mean, they do it with the RGs all the time. I remember seeing them with like crazy tops on, like a sort of 3D look like bricks texture and stuff like that, just to try and give it some personality, and also paint them crazy colours, which to a certain extent does work. But I think this one, just because it's got the slightly fancy tuners, which are not really anything fancy, they've just got different ends on them. I quite like that. I love the old 80s PC colour scheme of sort of jobby grey and jobby white. The bridge is a piece of art in itself. I think that's absolutely stunning. It's also got in fact, I don't even know if this is 24 frets. No, it's 22, isn't it? 22. Yeah. Yeah. So then it's got these mad. I need to get another bolt for the middle bit. Apparently these are tone tubes, which convert the sound from the bridge. So if there's a graphic, if you look these up, there's a graphic that shows you when the guitar's vibrating, it shows you the top of the guitar coming in green, and it shows you it going down these 3 sound tubes in the middle, connected to the back, and then it lights up red as well, and then it shows you the sound waves coming out at like some sort of. In fact, actually, do you know what it looks like? It looks like at the end of Star Wars when they've got the targeting computer. It's like stay on target. It looks like that is what the diagram in this, and when you see that, you just go, oh, I just have that Star Wars guitar. Now I love this guitar, it's amazing. It's a keeper. I'm not really sure what other mods you could put in it. There is room in there for another tone control if you want, but I was thinking, or a tone control. But the reason I didn't want to do that is because see if it's got like sort of they sit in recessed plastic perspex discs. So if you stuck another knob on, it wouldn't look the same. That's what these ones do. There was a point where I was going to put a switch in the middle, but to do this. But once I realised I could do it with a push-pull pot, especially the fact that I could have it so that when it was on, I actually decided if I had the choice of the light bulb, I was going to make it so that it was off. The light bulb was off when it's in single coil mode. It was going to be a red light bulb, so red, red for Bucker. It's now orange for Bucker, but I prefer it that way. And once I'd already decided that before I realised that hold on, if I do it that way around, it means I can use. I'll need a 6-pole switch, not a 9-pole. Sorry, this video was a bit long, but I'm quite excited, in a good mood because of this. So expect to see LEDs in guitars from now on. I think anyone I've got that's got a battery in it that I can think of some way of making it light up LED style, I'm going to do it. It sounds good in humbucker mode as well. Maybe it sounds a wee bit like a P90 as well in humbucker mode, I think. P90, I love it. Yeah, so if anyone noticing this is going to do this mode, you notice that my knobs are different. This guitar only came with one, and you can still buy them brand new from the Yamaha parts department, but it's £8.50 for one knob plus postage. So I just thought I had these two chrome brushed aluminium Telecaster knobs, which I got on a Shine guitar years ago, that I kept trying to put them on tellies and it just never looked right. Whereas in this one, although they're not exactly the same shade, they're a wee bit golder than the bridge, they look right enough for me, basically. Yeah, so I love this guitar. It's brilliant. It's getting kept. If I was going to do videos, lessons, this is not the guitar to use though, because although it's got the normal fret markings on the edge of the fretboard, which is fine, so you know where you are. If you're in a band playing away, and I know this from being in bands playing the bass and stuff like that, if you get lost, you can sort of see, oh, the guitarist's playing sort of about the 3rd fret when you get the dot to see where they are, so you know sort of roughly where you're meant to be or what chord you might be playing. Whereas on this, you know, when you can't tell easily looking at that I'm playing on the 6th, whereas if the dot was there, you would know immediately. So I mean, it's a style over substance. I think fret markers have a use. It does make this guitar look a little bit more spaceshipy, because it's not really, apart from the fact it's got light bulbs in it, it's not that radical a concept. Well, I don't know, maybe it is, because it weighs nothing. Is it 2.5 kilograms or something like that? So, you know, it weighs half of what something like that, you know, what that West Tone does. And although I'm, you know, quite buff and muscly anyway, it's, having a light one's nice anyway. Rock on, hope you enjoyed this.